Hello and welcome. My name is Tejal. My pronouns are she and they, coming to you for a chair yoga practice. And as you come to your seat for this chair yoga practice, I want to invite you to just explore your feet pressing into the ground and maybe come to sit away from the back of the chair. So the back isn't touching the chair back. And then before you get firmly settled in, just notice if you can twist around nice and loose, nothing tight right now, nothing too aggressive, without hitting any objects. If you could go wide and up as well. You just want to be in a space where you have full range of motion and freedom for you to be able to wing your arms out or even send a leg forward. Good. And then as you get seated, again, really important to find your feet coming down firmly. So if your heels don't touch because the height of the chair, try and adjust the chair height, or maybe put something under your feet so that your feet can touch firmly down. Yeah. So with your feet firmly planted, go ahead and try and sit up tall. As you sit up tall, you might notice your low back rounding, or even your body just adjusting in a way you hadn't expected. So start to wiggle your hips forward and back. You might also be able to roll them forward and back. And right away, you might start noticing some sensation or some pain. Whatever is present there, just receive it, notice it, but we're not working to necessarily change it. We hope that's something that happens with the practice, but it's just one practice out of many times you could do anything with your body today. So we'll just let the experience be what it needs to be today. Pressing your feet into the ground, go ahead and roll your shoulders up and back. Squeeze them tight behind you, and then release them down. Go ahead and do this a few more times, up and back. Squeeze them tight behind you and release them down. And at the same time, see if you can bring your neck up and back with it. Shifting, if possible, the alignment of the whole spinal column all the way up until the base of your head. Change direction, back and up, forward and down. And you might even use your elbows wide and in. Good. Start to make circles, fingertips to tops of shoulders. Notice any clicking or popping or rubbing. It's fine. Try and breathe space into this area and then change direction. Oh, you got it. Great. And when you're ready, release your hands onto your seat. So I'm going to invite you to take one of two options for your hands. In yoga, it's not just about poses, it's also about gestures, and that could be hand gestures or feet. It could be about breath work. It could be about meditation only. So something we'll incorporate is a gesture with our hands. And depending on which hand is on top, has a different meaning. So if you go right hand on top of left and let your fingers just settle, so as much of your palm as you can settle into palm, right hand on top of left, in Sanskrit, an ancient living language of India, this is called Bhairava Mudra. Bhairava Mudra. So Bhairava means fierce or terrifying, and Mudra means gesture. So that's one invitation for the energy you either want to release or call in. Say you have something coming up, or say generally you're just feeling like bringing in a little more of that fired up energy. If you change it, left hand on top of right, this is called Bhairavi Mudra, Bhairavi Mudra. And Bhairavi Mudra is essentially the opposite. It's a calming, it's a cooling, it's a serene energy. And that's because we're putting left on top of right, and the left side of our body is aligned with the lunar energies, the cooler, the calmer, the down energies, the serene, the peaceful. And the right side is associated to the solar energies, the heat, the warming, the fired upness, the agitation even, the terrifying nature, the fierce nature. And so we can pretty much pick a feeling and see where it lives, left side or right side. So whatever you want to pacify or invite in, you can pick for your gesture, your mudra. And that will help guide you. I'm sure has also brought up some thoughts around what you're working with generally. So let's take about a minute to just, if you're comfortable, close the eyes. Sitting up tall, so doing that good work in the posture with the mudra of your choice. Bhairava for terrifying or fierce. Bhairavi for calm or cooling, serene. And set an intention for your practice. It might just be to keep the energy of the mudra with you. It might be for something else you're already working with. Continue to breathe with that and just notice where your mind goes and see if you can guide it towards the intention you wish to have, so that your thoughts are focused on this intention for the time being. Deep breath in. From the mouth or the nose, let it go. Twice more with me. Inhale. Fill up the head, the heart, the belly. Pausing at the top. Exhale. Belly, heart, head. Last time, lips are sealed. Inhale. Head, heart, belly. Pausing. Holding. When you're ready, from the mouth, sigh it out. Seal the lips, seal the intention, deep breath in. Exhale the hands to the sides of the body. Inhale, arms forward and up. Any amount, they don't have to come all the way up. Just reach, lift the rib cage, lift the shoulders, reach, reach, reach to the sky. And exhale, release it out and down, palms turning down as you push. Again, inhale forward and up. This time, as you reach to the highest height, you might add a back bend. And that looks like lifting your heart. Maybe your low belly comes forward. Maybe even you look up. Make sure it's okay on your neck and your shoulders are soft. When you're ready, release that back bend. Arms come forward, spine lengthens, release down. Again, inhale, reach out or up. Reach high, 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 and then create the back bend that's okay for you. Maybe add a breath here. And reach forward and down. Release as you go. Good. So in the chair, we can also do a sun salutation, which is like a movement that feels like a flow and moves with the breath. It's pretty simple, but it's like 5 or 6 steps. So you can step your feet wide, then hips width distance apart. And then we'll move through an inhale, arms raising up. Urdhva Hastasana, this is an upwards hands gesture. Exhale, start to fold. So reach your hips back, creasing at the hips. Try not to round your spine until you get to more than halfway. And then release your fingers and drop your head. You might feel tenderness in your low back, somewhere at the attachment of the hips to the legs or the hips to the spine. Just breathe into that for a moment. Shake out your head, get out any crunchies. Hands might be on the floor or on the feet or on the legs. When you're ready, bring one hand to the thigh and then the other, and then just press yourself up. Start to back bend, arch the spine in this seated cow. And then on an exhale, round the spine for a seated cat pose. The way I remember cat pose is because it's like when a cat gets really scared and you see those Halloween cats where their back is really rounded. That's what we're looking for without the electrocution. So inhale to arch the spine. Lift the head, lift the heart up, think up instead of forward, and then exhale, round the spine. Think in and then back, in and then back. Okay, once more, inhale to arch the spine. Really try and lift your tailbone or reach your tailbone back and up. This is where we start to feel this maybe more in the low back if possible. And then on an exhale, tuck, tuck, tuck your tailbone as much as you can, like you're squeezing in your low abs and then rounding your back and reaching forward. So if you can keep that arch of the rounding of the back, just keep that rounding and start to smooth your hands down your legs any amount. So see if you can keep the rounding. And that's the tricky part here. That's how we can try and move this roundedness into our low backs. Okay, and then you can forget about the rounding. We're just going to do this again a few more times. So as you inhale, take your arms out wide, let your chest lift, and from your back, see if you can lift yourself up. Reach to the sky, exhale, hands through heart, and release the hands down. Again, inhale, reach up, maybe look up, maybe reach back, looking at the thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, hips back, hinging at the hips. Release the fingertips down. Inhale, walk your hands up your legs, arch the back. Finish that inhale, and then exhale, round the back. Tuck the tail. See if you can breathe into the low back. Inhale, come up to seated, and exhale, release the hands. One more time. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Try to flow with your breath. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, you can reach up, arms raised. And exhale, hands through the center and release by the sides. Nice deep breath in. Remember that intention you set at the top. Just give yourself a reminder of it as you settle your breath. Good, working more with the back. You can bring your feet back to hips width distance, which is about 2 fists width distance apart. So you can measure that if your fists come in there. And then you'll notice, okay, these bony hip points, the front upper most bony hip points you have, find those, and that's where you want kind of your second toes to be in line. That's about hips width distance for everyone. And from here, take your right hand, and I like to put the forearm across the legs, but I need to bend to get there. And then from there, from bent, go ahead and reach your other arm out and up. And so you're using the press on your legs to support you, palm up or palm down there, and then reach that top arm up and over without falling off. And I have to say that because it's pretty soon after you turn, after you lean, that your hip lifts up. So try and push your hip back down and then turn your body up towards the ceiling. And you might look up to your thumb and just check in, is that okay on your neck? But if you're doing something you don't normally do with your head and your neck, that might be a good thing, right? If we're constantly tucking down or dropping our head and rounding our back, see if we can start to undo some of that stuff. Maybe even adding a back bend, adding a look up, a lift of the chin. Take another deep breath. Breathe into your whole left side body, left rib cage, left side waist. Take another deep breath. And then when you're ready, release the arm, look forward. Inhale, both arms up and overhead. Just move like a wave. And then exhale, reach the arms wide and down. It's your left forearm that goes on top of right. Take your right arm up, reach over, press into your feet and your hips. Breathe into your side rib cage, side waist. One more inhale. One more exhale. Good, keep breathing. Good. Right now I'm feeling a lot of tightness, so I'm moving with my breath. Every inhale, I feel like I'm lifting up. Every exhale, side bending. One more inhale. Exhale, just fold. Just flow, reach the arm back, reach both arms up, reach up, sit up, tall spine. Exhale, arms wide and down. Let's take the twist. So the twist can look like your right hand inside your right knee, and the arm can be long, but not bent really, not straightened to a pin. You still have some movement here. And then from there, take your other hand behind you. And you can just drape it over the chair. Like you're just like, hey, looking back at the person behind you. Or parallel parking is really one way to think about it when you have to look back. So try not to let your knee fall in. Right? This hand is keeping your knee open to where it started. And then start to twist and turn, look back at you. Your shoulder. If it's okay to look at your shoulder. If that's too far back, just look where you wish to go. And again, no strain here. You're definitely moving into a range of motion that you don't normally take, and you're holding it. So you're going to feel a lot of sensation, but no strain, no pain. Try and breathe through everything that comes up. Sitting up tall, maybe even arch the low back. Yeah, breathe into the left side of your spinal column, that whole side to the left of your spine. The part that's being asked to do a lot of this twisting. You might inhale to sit up even taller in your twist, and then exhale, continue to revolve. Slowly come through center. Take a moment to rest and recalibrate. What is neutral? Where are there sensations lighting up in your body? Practice sitting up tall. When you're ready, it's the other side. So hand inside leg. Take your arm, drape it behind you, and then start to find the twist. And as you move into that twist, just explore what it looks like for you. Deepening the breath. Full and deep inhales, full and deep exhales. If you notice you're leaning back a lot, do less twisting and try and keep your spine tall. One more breath in. One more breath out. Come on through center. Take a pause. Find your breath. Remember that intention. As you come to sit, feet together, this will help with balance. And with your feet together, lift your right heel and then lift your right foot. Go ahead and bring that right shin into your body. And then just circle out your ankle a few times. You can go fast or slow, really observe what's going on, any tension, any tightness, any sensation or swelling, just be with that. Change directions. Pause where you need to pause. Point and flex the foot a few times, really curling the toes when you point away, and then really flexing through the whole sole of the foot when you pull in. So a few more times. Okay, from here, just take that same hand, same leg, and just open it out to the side. You might sit back, you might find you fall back. See if you can use your other hand either on the chair or on your leg to help you sit up super tall. And then from there, rotate at the hip. So big or small, fast or slow, just try and bring that experience inward. Finding support in the rest of your body so that you can do this. Change direction. You got it. And then when you're ready, hold it out to the side. So you might take your hand now and put it under your thigh, and then just open that leg out to the side. Same idea as the twist from before. Other hand goes inside that opposite leg, and you're really finding this openness here. Option here to walk your hand down your leg, maybe to the outside of your foot, and start to play with stretching through the leg. By no means does the knee need to be straight. So you can even hug it into your armpit here and just play with that. Using that other hand to explore what it feels like to sit back or sit up. You might even, if you can, take a hold of your toes and then play with that straightened leg. Yeah, so I have my two peace fingers right between my big toe and second toe, and use that to push the heel out and reach, reach, reach. I can see myself leaning away from the leg. So what does it feel like to sit up tall here? And it is very challenging. So just breathe into that. Take one more breath, sit up tall, shoulders down, heart lifts. Good. When you're ready, bend the knee. We're going to bring the ankle onto the leg. So we're sitting with one leg crossed over the other. A couple things we can do here. We can just start to fold over the shin. Right? But where you feel the sensation, you get to decide how to protect. If you were to fold over the shin and you happen to have a desk in front of you, you might even rest your head on the desk. When our body makes contact with objects and feels held, we can let go in that area. So we won't carry tension in our neck or our head or our shoulders necessarily. And we can really focus on that sensation in the outer hip. You might feel a similar sensation than if you've ever done other piriformis stretches, piriformis muscle stretches, or something like a pigeon stretch or a figure 4 stretch. This is essentially the same posture because it's targeting the same areas. Mm-hmm. If the mind starts to wander, there are a couple things you can do. You can let it. You could just follow the thoughts if you wish, if it's too much trouble to call yourself back, or you can give yourself different direction, like focusing on the internal experience at the hip, focusing on the intention you set earlier at start of practice, focusing on releasing tension where you don't need it in the rest of the body. You might stay here or take an option with this posture. One option is to take a twist away from it. So where the knee is bent, turn away from that knee and then add in that twist that we were doing before, a spinal twist. But you might need to put some pressure on your leg to keep the knee where it is. Again, no pain in the knee joint or the ankle. So you're twisting on an angle here. And then you might stay there. Another option is to take that fold once again, and this time maybe even play with deepening the fold. So what does that look like? See if you can drop, 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 maybe even play with tapping the ground. If that feels like too intense, come back to the other two options. When you're ready, come through center. Hug that knee into chest once more. Roll it out, shake it out, and let it go. Okay, other side. So bring that shin into the chest. Roll out the ankle. Spend some good time here. We all have stuff going on in our feet and our legs. You know your history. So is there something in the history of this ankle that you know circling it out is really good for it? Maybe it's just the current sensation right now that this feels amazing. Point and flex. You can feel the calf muscles and the shin muscles move with you. It's all connected. Hands behind the thigh now, and then circle. Change directions. Take that moment to reach the leg out to the side and see if you'd like to sit up tall. Maybe use your hand to other side or hand on chair to help you stay up tall. And then keep that leg out to the side and just try and create some distance here at the hip crease and the side body. Try not to strain in the neck or the head. You might stay here if this is just interesting and full of sensation. You might start to play with holding the side of the foot, keeping the knee close to start, really pressing against the arm, and then you might straighten the leg, push towards straight. It might not happen. You might bend and flex. You might take your peace fingers inside the big toe and then explore getting long and how this side might feel different than the other. Notice if you're leaning away, see if you can sit up nice and tall. Just be with that breath. Nice breath opening here. Breath allowing you to feel the side of your waist lighting up. When you're ready, you can bend, bring the ankle to thigh. Good. Notice that this side is a different side. So what is it you need for this side? Spend some time upright and tall. You can move into the second idea, maybe folding, maybe resting the forehead down. Got about 2 to 3 more minutes here. So just settling in the way that you like. You might feel this in your low back because again, it's all connected. Noticing your breath, noticing your thoughts, maybe choosing not to engage with your thoughts, but to come back to your breath. And then up to you to stay here or play with a twist. What does a twist feel like? Does it give you more? Does it take away? Is it somewhere you want to go? Spend some time with that choice. You might start to reach the fingertips towards the earth. Just notice if that's some level of depth that you want to take. Being with your breath, really utilizing this time for what this is offering you right now. There's so many other places that need your attention and time, but right now you get this time for this action. And let's take our time to come out of this. So slowly pull yourself upright. Slowly let the knee come into chest. Give it a hug and a squeeze. Flex and release in the foot. And when you're ready, release the foot down. You can tap out the feet. You can roll side to side on the bottom. Then taking a moment to arch and release in the low back. And then we'll step the feet wide enough so that you can slip one hand inside the leg. Doesn't matter which leg. Maybe the fingertips come down, but if you can, just maybe grab a hold of the foot so that you're not changing too much the rotation. Ideally, what we'd like is an open palm with the back of the hand against the inner ankle. So that would mean just your middle finger is down to the floor, but see what feels okay for you. You might even go with like curling in your fingers and then having more of your first digit down, first knuckles face down. Because from there, we're going to go into a twist. And you know, this might even be too deep of a twist. So you could come up and explore, what is this twist like if I'm reaching to the sky with the back of my wrist against the inner knee? Okay, that's something. And then you might move the back of your wrist to the inner calf and explore. Okay, that's another thing. And then back of the wrist towards the back of the ankle and explore. What are you gaining and what is dropping away as you change the depth of this twist? So a few times, pick where you want to be, and then a few times, wing that top arm that's reaching up, out and down. Maybe it taps your hand. And then reach out and up. You don't have to rush it. Just take 4 more of these at your own pace. Rounding in the upper back when you come down, and then reaching, extending, and opening. Notice if your hips are lifting and what changes if you ground your hips. Likely the twist will get a little tighter, a little less range. So see if you can manage that. You can explore that. Stay with the arm reaching up, that 5th and final time, and then reach it forward over the ear. And then turn the body to look down, arm still reaching forward, and see if you can lift the other arm. Hold it here, pause, get even longer through the upper back and low back. And then when you're ready, rise up, use the back body to lift you up. Woo, lengthen out the back, arms reach out and down. Let's take the other side. Your other hand starts to slide all the way down. Just tap for a moment, open up for a moment, and then let's remove some of that twist. So back of the wrist to back of inner knee, and then reach up to the ceiling. Maybe a little bit back behind you. And just notice the twist here. Where are you most twisty? Upper back or mid back? Probably not the low back too much, but you can still wiggle the hips to explore. And then start to slide that hand to the inside of the calf. Keep breathing, long spine, open heart. And then maybe to the inside of the ankle, but only if that's okay for you. Only if that's where you want to be for the next couple minutes as you reach up and long, find the twist, keep the hips rooted, and then release the twist. So bringing that hand to meet hand. Nice rounding of the upper back. You might even take that hand past the hand and then reach up into the sky. Again, 4 more times, but with your rhythm. Breathing, listening to your breath. Last time, reach up and overhead. Hips down to the ground. Reach forward and over the ear. Turn the body to face the ground. Take the bottom arm up. Hold it if you can. Breathe as you lengthen. Push into your legs. Use your legs as you reach long out of the hips. 1 more breath. And then from a back bend, see if you can rise up. Good. Lengthen out, back bend. Exhale, hands through heart center. Release the arms by the sides. Good. Notice all that energy buzzing in the body. Notice where the joints are meeting and what's showing up there. Roll out the head, the neck, and the shoulders if you need. So just be with yourself for a few moments. And then I want to invite you into preparing yourself for rest here. So I'm not sure if you have anything, but something I recommend, like if you have a shawl or a thin blanket or even a sweater, something that's as wide as your arms or wider. Perfect. And then you take that and Depending on how thick or thin it is, it's going to create a different impact. So you take that and you wrap it behind the neck and drop it over the shoulders and under the armpits. So in order to keep it under the armpits, your arms have to be pretty heavy. So that's a good thing. Drop your arms pretty heavy. You might take the gesture from the start of practice. And then depending on the width of that roll behind you, you might feel supported in your head to just let your head completely go. So it's that idea of having something to release into that allows us to fully release anything we're holding. So take the gesture of your choice. Let the head rest back or rock forward. It really depends on where you're most comfortable. Another great option is to just put your hands on the table in front of you and fold over forehead to back of hands. That always takes me back to probably preschool nap time.
Yeah.
That's how we would sit over our desks. And in order to get tired, I would just breathe condensation onto the desk. And like it would get really steamy in this little pocket of space. And eventually it would put me to sleep. So what tactic do you need to kind of knock yourself into rest? Any computer pings or notifications, any chatter outside you that you can't control, just let it be. Let it be part of the nature around you. When we go to the park or the picnic, we don't try and quiet nature. So just let it be part of the environment. Out of your control, out of your hands. So however you found your resting pose, really deeply explore the breath here. Can you breathe into your hands, all the way down your arms, into your fingertips? Start to bring yourself back, or notice how far you went. And pressing into the chair, you might drop your chin forward a little. Take a moment to sit up tall once again. We'll start to close this practice. You might leave your hands where they are or bring hands together in front of the heart in another gesture called Anjali Mudra. This gesture is an offering. Let's make it an offering to these practices of yoga, to our teachers. Let's call in loving kindness for yourself for showing up today and sending some of that out to the community. Take a moment to honor the land, the wisdom of the ancestors, the indigenous stewards of this land, all for their care and cultivation. Inviting in a moment of silence to acknowledge the many beings experiencing oppression on this land. May we work to repair harm and end suffering for all beings. Let's close with a message of peace. Om, then Shanti 3 times. You might listen or join. Inhale to begin. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.